about how to actually make money in 2025. You might be watching this video in 2026 or any year. Frankly, it doesn't matter because what I'm going to teach you is how any retard can make money. So bear with me. What you have to understand is that most people are failures. Most people are failures because they don't know how to win. They don't have the information. They don't have the sauce. They don't know what it takes to even win. So in life, you can actually just do the opposite of what everyone else does. Because most people, 99% of people, don't know shit. So part of being the 1% means that you have information that 99% of people don't know. And today I'm gonna give you that information so I can tell you a foolproof way on how anyone can make money. So, what does it mean to make money? Making money essentially means that you can position yourself in a way where money just appears. Guys, if I work, money just appears in my bank account. While I'm making this video, literally, there is a stream of money from other people, from the air, from the atmosphere that is coming together and condensing into my bank account. And you need to think to yourself, how do I set myself up that money just appears in my bank account? And most people do it absolutely fucking wrong because what most people do is they think, okay, if I want to make money, I just need to work, work, work. I need to be a workhorse. I need to go to a job every day. The whole concept of making money is not accurate for them because the way they envision making money means that they have to be at a certain place at a certain time and just put in a shit ton of work so that they can make money. But no, that's not how it works. People who make the most amount of money have created systems that work for them. You understand? And these systems are designed to spit up money into the bank account. So, how do you do this? One of the number one ways you can do this is by, first of all, actually learning a skill. But you can't just learn any skill. You need to learn a skill that is valuable to people who have a lot of money. So that means you need to be in industries that just spit out money. And this can be anything. Literally, it could be, for example, if you're in an industry where people legitimately need a good website designer. If you're great at designing websites, that is already a skill. It could also be that you're just a programmer. You're able to program software for people who need certain software solutions. I mean, right now we're in this AI gold rush. It could be that some companies, they just want to outsource certain things or automate certain things. So then you have the skill where you can come in and say, okay, boom, I actually know something about AI and I can create something for you that saves you a little bit of time and saves a little bit of money. Boom. So in my case, for example, in the industry I'm in is I'm in the OnlyFans industry. I've been in the OnlyFans industry for a long time. So I started out just managing OnlyFans creators. And essentially what that just means is you have an OnlyFans model and she does no shit because frankly speaking, I mean, she's just a random girl that just heard about a web. Let's keep it real. Like, do you really think she can compete against like big brains like me who actually know? Like, she just woke up one day and was like, okay, let me try OnlyFans, but she didn't know shit about it. So she needs like a big brain genius like me to make sure that everything's running smooth, right? So that's where I came in. I was like, boom, I can help you. I can set this up. I can make sure that actual fans coming to your account that you make money and I take a percentage of it. Do you understand what I mean? It's a skill that I've developed. I developed a skill of making sure that a girl's OnlyFans account actually grows and I take a percentage of it. So once you learn a certain skill, and it could be anything. If you're at a job right now and they're paying you, let's say 100K a month, I mean, sorry, 100K a year, because you're not going to make that at a job. It's funny because my brain is just, every time I talk about numbers, it's just like, yeah, 100K a month. Like, duh. You know what I mean? What do you mean 100K a year? Like, are you poor? You know what I mean? Like, you need to program your brain differently. That's also a part of it. But let's say you're making 100K a year, you have a certain skill. What you then do, so that's first step. You actually learn a skill that produces money or saves someone time. Once you do that, what you're then gonna do is you're gonna sell that skill to other people. Now, the way most people do it is stupid because they'll go and they'll work at a job. And like I said, they're slaving away, they're doing all this work for an employee who frankly doesn't give a shit about them, and for an employer who frankly doesn't give a shit about them. And they get paid barely nothing to like what, for example, the top guy or the boss is doing, right? So what you need to do is you need to take that into your own hands and then you need to sell that skill to other people. How do you do that? There's one main way to do that. I call it the brute force method. So what's the brute force method? It's called the numbers game. If I approach 100 people and I tell them I have this thing that could potentially make you money or save you time, maybe one or two out of them are gonna say yes. If I talk to 1,000 people, maybe 10 of them are gonna say yes, right? And if I sell that solution, let's say for, it could be like $500 a month. I'm gonna do X work for you. It's gonna save you a bunch of time and it's gonna save you money or make you money. And I'm wanting to charge $500 a month for it. You do that with 10 people, all of a sudden you're making 5K a month. You can completely replace the job that you're in, right? And you can do it remotely because you can obviously do it on the computer. Best case scenario, you're doing it remotely. You can literally be anywhere you want and the money's coming to your bank account. But you have to sell that solution to other people. And that's where a lot of guys completely fuck up because they don't understand this concept. They don't understand what a numbers game is. Let me give you an example. If I, the Prince Master, chocolate sexy, if I desperately wanted to sleep with a girl today, I could potentially just go out and just whip out my phone and I send 100 bitches. Let's meet, let's meet, let's meet. Just 100 bitches that I know. Let's meet, let's meet, let's meet, let's meet. One of them's gonna say yes. I mean, duh. You know what I'm saying? It's called the numbers game. Even a guy who's completely ugly, let's say like one of his eyes is hanging, his face is completely asymmetrical, he's skinny, he's scrawny. If that dude goes out and approaches 10,000 girls, he's going to get a girlfriend. And that is why this brute force method is so good because it guarantees that you will find a client if you just keep on going and going and going. So you can't be a pussy about it. You just have to actually try hard to do the brute force method. So what are the brute force method? You just go somewhere where you think there is the ideal client. It could be Instagram DMs. You just DM a bunch of people that are in your niche, right? Or it could be in Telegram groups, or it could be on Twitter where there's certain people that you know that want a certain product. They're in a certain niche. And you just boom, boom, boom. You hit them all up. It could be, for example, you have an Instagram page and you're running reels and you're pushing some type of offer, for example. And then every person that likes, every person that comments, every person that follows, you shoot them a DM. Hey, bro, what's up? Thank you for a like. I see you're interested in my stuff. I do XXX and I can help you save X amount of time and help you make X amount of money. Would you be interested? And then what you just do at that point, you just, for example, you hop on a call with them. You just give them a small presentation of how the shit works, what you're doing, and you sell it to them. Boom, you got $500 coming in every month now. And the great thing is if that thing is actually valuable and helps people, then they can give you a good review. And if they give you a good review, now I can literally show this to other people. And you can be like, look, I did this for this person. I did this for this person. I did this for this person. You start building a reputation. You can literally just show a a presentation or some type of review place where people, for example, I use, for example, Telegram, for example. I have a Telegram channel with like a bunch of reviews, and people can just scroll through it, and it's just like, it just says like, wow, great work, Prince, thank you so much, da, da, da. And then people actually see that your work is worth something. Another key tip, something that you can do which works pretty fucking well, is the free trial. So the free trial is fucking amazing, because what you do essentially is you can tell a person, hey, look, let me just do this shit for you for free. It's literally gonna save you time, it's literally gonna save you money. I do it for free for you for a week, a weekly free trial. And if you like it, we continue. If not, then you don't have to pay anything. Like, bro, who's gonna say no to this? Think about this. Who would say no to potentially saving time and saving money and it happening for free? They can just see if it works for them. And if it works for them, great. If not, they just quit. Right? So that's one key concept. So you guys already see. Let's say you are a website builder and you build website for fitness coaches. Like, you're really good at it. You have a skill at building fitness websites. You create a page, you're cool, you're charismatic, post cool pictures, cool videos. You got to make sure, obviously, that you're an authoritative person. So, and that's where little shit comes in. You want to dress good, you want to be buff, because these things show that you're a person that people can actually take serious. If I go on some Instagram page and you look like your whole life looks like an L, I'm not gonna take you serious. And funny enough, I just recently had a call with this guy, and I'm not gonna name details because I'm not like that. I don't like, insulting people for no reason. I thought he was, I thought I commended him. I thought it was good that he was trying hard to make money. But he was just like some scrawny kid, basic background, the fucking shirt, or I don't know what he was wearing, was like, it wouldn't even fit him, right? He was nervous in the call, and I just instantly knew it. Go, bro, like, you're not it. You're not him. I don't want to work with people that are not him, or completely nervous, or they're stuttering, or they have like and a completely off-putting accent that they haven't worked through. I just don't like that shit. I'm not confident. If I go on a call with someone and you trying to convince me that I'm gonna give you my hard-earned money, at least look like a fucking G, bro. I mean, is that too much to ask for? Look like someone where if I gave you $10,000, you for sure gonna give me back $100,000 because you're him, because you're that person. You understand what I mean? If you show up on the call and you're some fat fuck, and I can see that you have issues not stopping to eat too much, you're stuffing donuts into your face. If I throw a cookie on the floor, you will be the first one to jump on the floor. I don't trust you to make me a bunch of money. So you always got to keep that in mind. You got to be a presentable person. You got to keep in mind that whoever you're talking to needs to have this feeling of, yeah, this guy is legit. If I talk to people, I don't even have to be knowledgeable about the topic. They're going to be like, yo, this guy is legit. The way I talk, they're like, yo, this guy, I don't know. He just has this aura. And this aura comes from what? This aura comes from me accomplishing shit. This aura comes from me working on myself. This aura comes from me doing everything I can in order to level up in life, which over time creates results, because the universe rewards that type of shit. If you put in a massive amount of work day in, day out, you train every single day, you read books, you try to self-educate, you watch podcasts, you listen to audiobooks, you go out of your way to meet people that can potentially change your life, and you're a student of the game, and you're trying everything to become a better person, that shit shows. Okay? So you got to keep that in mind when you're trying to sell to people. But let's go back to the example. You build a page, you talk confidently into the camera, you tell people why they need a good website, why it's essential that they need to convert people, how you've helped people. You maybe give some fitness tips here and there for people. It looks cool, it looks presentable. And then you start DMing people, even just like 20, 30 people a day. And you just hit them up, hey, I saw your website, or I saw your Instagram page. I think you're missing a website. I've helped people make a shit ton of money because I built them on a funnel. And then there's some aspect of it that you can do for free. I mean, potentially you could just be like, yo, I build you the website. And if you don't pay, then I guess I shut off the website. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that aspect where you can give something for free and it can actually help the person, and you can somehow do it into a free trial of sorts. And if you do that, you do 20 people a day, 30 people a day in a month, that's going to be like what, 30 times 30. Let's say you're trying to do 1,000 people, and let's say you're using three Instagram pages, and now you're hitting up 3,000 people. You don't think some of them are going to buy, right? And in best case scenario, you make your offer in a way where it's recurring, right? Maybe you had some consulting, etc. And then boom, you're starting to make money. Let's say you just let's say you sold a $200 package 10 times a month. You're already making 2K a month, completely remote. And now comes the next step. What do you do as the next step? You need to outsource that shit. So what does outsourcing mean? Outsourcing essentially means that you'll have like, I don't know if I can say this, but okay, you'll have a bunch of minions, a bunch of like mini you, a bunch of like mini slaves doing your work for you because you can't do all the shit because you can't be the person that's slaving away. Let's just say it how it is. Business is you offering a service and slaving away, trying your very best to do a great service to another person. So when you outsource that shit, you need slaves for yourself. You just need minions that's gonna do the job for you. And there's nothing bad about that, okay? Because everyone needs to start somewhere. But even in Roman times, you weren't a real man if you were at a job and a boss is telling you every day what to do. I mean, but it's fine, I guess, But if you're a real man, you take risks. You go with a sword, you go in different directions, and you try to kill random people and get pussy. Like, and if anything, that's how life is right now for a man too. I go in random countries and try to get money and try to find some pussy. I mean, it's fun. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? But that's essentially what you do. You find mini minions, and they do the job for you. And you need to be a leader. You need to teach them this is how you do it. This is what you do at this time. You create SOPs. And also, hey, look, you got to treat them great. I mean, I know what I just said, but it adds a certain shock factor. But at the end of the day, these employees, you got to treat them very, very good. You got to pay them well. You got to make sure they feel good. These are guys that are going to help you actually get rich. You understand what I mean? So make sure you treat them well. Make sure you show them exactly how it works. Give them good incentives. Give them good bonuses. Make sure you have like a good environment for them, and they're gonna appreciate that shit. You know what I'm saying? And now the beauty of it is everything's gonna be outsourced. You won't be having to slave away, trying to like code websites, everything. You're just gonna like outsource, give SOPs. Literally, you can, let's say let's say you get a client. That person says for 1K, you can build a website. You just hand it off, give it to an employee. He does the shit for $400. You keep the rest. Boom. And that's how it works. So you're giving away money, but you're saving time now. And once you do that, your business is going to be completely automated. That's essentially how it works. That's how you want it to work. And now you can chill in the Maldives. You can be somewhere in Cancun. You can be in Mexico. You got two big booty Latina badders on your side, and you're just making money out of thin air. You know what I'm saying? And last step, what you do is you scale that shit into oblivion. Because the whole thing is you don't want to not work anymore. That's not the goal. That's what retards think. Idiots think that, oh, now I got a business and I got employees and I'm making my 5 or 10K a month. I ain't got to do anything anymore. And that is what separates the winners from the losers. Because at the end of the day, the point of making sure that you automate everything isn't that you don't have to work anymore. It's just that you can work on things that make you even more money. You always want to be working as much as you can, but you want your work to have complete and total leverage. So what you do then is you become the face of it all. You're the one that comes up with ideas. You're the one that, if the clients need to talk to the big boss, they talk to you, and you become the face of the marketing, for example. You're the one that makes videos. You're the one that talks to the camera. You're the one that, if it's a big client, you hop on a call with him and you close them well. It could mean many different things. You're the one that's now building the brand. You understand? Let's take Elon Musk for example. He bought Twitter and now he's endlessly tweeting about how Tesla is this fantastic company, how SpaceX is launching their new rockets into space. That's what you want, right? And once you become the face of it, you can then scale that shit into oblivion. That's when you do exactly what was working before at a bigger scale. You do, for example, let's say you're making 5K a month. You try to do the exact same thing, but you just 2x it, 3x it, 4x it, 5x it. And that, my friends, is how you can literally just start making 20, 30, 40K a month, 50K a month, completely remotely from your computer, from your phone, while not having to do a bunch of bullshit. And you can make more money than a bunch of nerds that are working at Google and whatever these companies are. And you don't have to pay a massive mortgage because you're tied to a specific location that needs you to be close to the location. So you need to take out a mortgage for a house because everyone else is doing it. And then you need to drive to work. And then the boss is yelling at you because you wanted to drink coffee, but he was like, nah, fuck the coffee. You need to work more. And then you got stressed and you went home. And then your wife is telling you how much of a loser you are. And how she wants like a real G who's gonna smash her good and make sure she's satisfied in bed, and then she's telling you how, oh, I don't feel it anymore because of all these routines and you're always doing the same thing and we're never taking vacations, and now you're stressed that she might cheat on you and then she actually cheats on you. Bro, it's just not a good life, okay? Trust me. So do this, and this is how anyone in 2025 can make money.